Hi, I'm Dr. Sterling.
And I'm Kiko Tanaka, and welcome to the Vibrant Senior Secrets.
So the feedback we've been getting, it really zeroes in on this one agonizing conflict for people.
Salt.
Salt, exactly.
Power.
Conventional wisdom says to fear it, but in my clinic, I see so many people who are, well, clinically dehydrated and mineral deficient.
Right.
So our mission today is a deep dive. We're going to try and reconcile two, titans of modern health, Barbara O'Neill and Dr. Eric Berg.
And the goal is to move the body from this state of what we call kidney surrender to kidney rescue.
I think we have to address the root problem first.
Absolutely. What we're seeing in older populations, it's not really kidney failure because of age. It's more like the filtration system is just stalling.
Stalling, that's a great word for it.
It's because of a chronic mineral deficiency. The sources really confirm this pattern. It's a widespread, often completely unrecognized mineral drought.
Okay, let's unpack that. In my clinic, I call it physiological surrender. This fear of salt, that was marketed so heavily in the 80s and 90s, it created a generation that's honestly afraid to hydrate correctly. The kidneys aren't failing because they're old. They're functionally surrendering. They just lack the basic building blocks to move water where it actually needs to go.
Into the cell.
Into the cell.
And that's exactly where Barbara O'Neill's core philosophy comes in. Her idea of the internal spark. It's crucial here.
Right.
Her whole argument, when you really look at the sources, it centers on the sodium-potassium pump.
Okay, but let's break that down. For someone listening who's maybe never heard of this, what is the sodium-potassium pump, really?
Think of it like a tiny battery. For a gatekeeper, it's the engine in every single one of your cells. It manages everything that comes in and everything that goes out.
Nutrients in, waste out?
Precisely.
Yeah.
And it uses energy to move 3 sodium ions out of the cell for every 2 potassium ions it brings in. This creates an electrical charge.
A gradient.
A gradient, exactly. But without enough usable sodium outside the cell, that whole system just collapses. The pump can't fire, and if the pump doesn't fire, water has no reason to go into the cell.
So you can drink and drink and drink.
And you're still dehydrated on a cellular level.
Which brings us to her very specific protocol, the one that people sometimes dismiss as, a silly ritual.
The crystal of salt on the tongue.
Right. Putting unprocessed salt, like Celtic sea salt, on your tongue before you drink water. Why is that timing so critical?
It's all about immediate bioavailability. When that unrefined salt crystal dissolves on your tongue, the electrolytes are absorbed almost instantly. It signals the body. It creates that sodium gradient right there in your bloodstream before the water even hits your stomach.
So it's like opening the door before you try to walk through it.
Perfect analogy. O'Neill is very clear on this. Without that initial spark, the water you drink doesn't integrate. It just washes through.
And that wash-through effect, I see the symptoms of that every single day. They're incredibly common and so frustrating for seniors.
Oh, I'm sure. You see the edema, right? The swelling.
All the time. Swelling in the legs, the feet. The body is holding on to water, but it's all outside the cells.
And the other big one, getting up all night to use the bathroom.
Yes, nocturia. Waking up 3-4 times a night. It's often not a bladder issue, it's a kidney issue. They're filtering inefficiently because they're just being flooded.
It's fascinating how one tiny change, just a single crystal of salt, can shift that entire dynamic.
It's a profound shift. And, if you're finding this salt protocol helpful, make sure to join our Vibrant Senior community by subscribing. It's how we keep this research going.
But we can't stop there. That unlocking action is vital, but if we just tell everyone to eat more salt without context,
we run right into the big counter-argument.
We run right into Dr. Eric Berg. And this is the critical piece of the puzzle that addresses everyone's biggest fear: blood pressure.
This is where the two philosophies seem to clash, doesn't it? O'Neill says more unrefined salt. Berg says to be careful, emphasizing what he calls the potassium guard.
Exactly. Berg points out that what most people call salt sensitivity, that puffy feeling or seeing your blood pressure spike after a salty meal, in the majority of cases, that's actually just a camouflage for a chronic potassium deficiency.
I explain it to my patients using the body's volume management system. Sodium pulls water in, and potassium helps push excess water out and relaxes the blood vessels. If you only have the sodium.
Even the good mineral-rich kind.
Right, even the good kind. Without the potassium to balance it, the body holds on to fluid like crazy to dilute the sodium, and your blood pressure goes up.
And there's a very specific symptom that points to this exact problem.
In my clinic, the #1 sign is that pounding pulse. You know, that feeling of your heart beating really hard, especially when you're lying down at night.
It's not just anxiety.
No, not at all. That's very often your heart literally signaling quite loudly that it needs potassium to manage the sodium load and keep a steady rhythm. The heart muscle is incredibly sensitive to that sodium-potassium ratio.
So we have O'Neill opening the cell door with salt and Berg standing guard with potassium to protect the heart.
They're two halves of the same vital equation. The big insight here is that you absolutely must have both to achieve a real kidney rescue. The salt unlocks the cell, and the potassium makes sure it happens safely.
And the type of salt is non-negotiable.
Absolutely. The system jams otherwise. You know, refined table salt, it's about 99.9% pure sodium chloride. I tell my patients that's like trying to build a house with only one kind of brick.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't. The kidneys need all those other 82 plus trace minerals you find in Celtic or good sea salt to do their job properly.
Without those cofactors, the magnesium, the calcium, the kidneys have to work so much harder.
It's like trying to shove a boulder through a tiny pipe. We want to make their job effortless.
You know, we want to hear from you. Have you ever tried the Barbara O'Neill protocol? Leave a comment below so we can discuss it in our next audit. Your experiences really do help us refine all of this.
And speaking of refinement, the ancestral wisdom you bring to this, that's where we find the perfect way to combine O'Neill's spark with Berg's guard.
In my Japanese ancestry, salt is, well, it's so much more than just a seasoning. It's seen as a purifier.
A purifier, that's interesting.
In Shinto rituals, we use it for cleansing, but we also see it in ancient food practices, like moshioyaki, where salt is harvested by actually baking it in seaweed.
You know, that's so counterintuitive to us in the West. We'd never think to combine salt and seaweed like that.
Well, the secret is kombu, which is a type of kelp. My grandmother and her grandmother before her would always combine mineral-rich salt with kombu. And the reason is that kombu is the world's most potent natural source of the exact minerals Dr. Berg recommends.
Potassium.
Potassium, yes, but also magnesium and iodine. It delivers the ultimate potassium guard just naturally.
That's fascinating. So the modern scientific synthesis is literally found in this ancient food tradition. You're creating a perfect bioavailable circuit.
Exactly. When you take the salt with the kombu, you prevent that sharp salt spike that can stress the heart. The minerals are released slowly in a matrix. And this supports not just the heart, but also something incredibly important, the vagus nerve.
Let's talk about that. Because the vagus nerve connection is the ultimate payoff here.
Yeah.
It's the master controller for the parasympathetic nervous system.
The rest and digest system.
Right. It's the superhighway that tells the entire body to calm down.
And it connects directly to the heart, the lungs, the gut.
And when my patients switch to Celtic salt, and especially when they add something like kelp, I explain that those 82 plus trace minerals, the magnesium, the iodine, they act like spark plugs for the vagus nerve. Without them, the nervous system is stuck in fight or flight. But when the vagus nerve is properly fueled, it signals the heart to calm down, it lowers inflammation, and crucially for our deep dive, it tells the kidneys to stop stressing and just filter effectively.
Which is what you need for deep restorative sleep.
Exactly. This entire system breakdown, it all culminates in that one symptom everyone hates. The 3:20 a.m. wake-up call.
Your worst.
I see that specific time as a direct kidney and adrenal stress signal. The body has hit the bottom of its mineral reserves, and the adrenals just start pumping out cortisol to keep things running.
It's a vicious cycle.
And I find that using the O'Neill salt on tongue protocol right before bed is maybe the fastest way to break that cycle. The mineral absorption stabilizes the adrenals and allows the whole nervous system to finally settle down.
So this is all very actionable. For anyone listening, we've synthesized these sources into a really simple 14-day rescue audit.
Let's lay out those 3 steps. They're non-negotiable.
Okay, first, the morning wake up. This starts the whole process. 1 crystal of Celtic or sea salt on your tongue, let it dissolve, and follow it with about 8 ounces of good structured water.
That immediately unlocks the cells for the day. Second step, the Berg O'Neill balance. This is your protection system. You have to be diligent about getting 4,700 milligrams of potassium every day.
Which is a lot. It means tons of dark, leafy greens, or you can supplement with a high-quality kelp or kombu powder. That's what shields your heart.
Absolutely. And third, the 3 p.m. Vegas reset. We all hit that afternoon slump, right? So around 3:00 p.m., just a tiny pinch of salt and a few ounces of water. It provides those trace minerals to cool the nervous system and stops the adrenals from revving up before the evening stress hits.
That 3 p.m. reset is so critical.
It really is. And, share this with a friend who struggles with nighttime wake-ups. It might be the most important thing they hear today.
It truly might. This widespread fear of salt, it's unintentionally created a dehydrated generation where the symptoms just mimic aging and disease.
So, the big takeaway from this deep dive is that you don't have to choose between O'Neill and Berg. The real solution is in merging them.
Use O'Neill's protocol for the spark.
Implement Berg's focus on potassium for balance.
And use ancestral traditions like kombu for the perfect delivery system.
It's all about moving from that functional surrender to real cellular vibrancy.
The path to getting that vibrancy back is through intelligent mineral use, not fear. It's about remembering that the worst dehydration happens inside the cell.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the Vibrant Senior Secrets.
We appreciate you trusting us with your research journey today.
And as always,
Stay vibrant.